hit on him, and he lets it fall out of his hand.
Brooklyn, cause he Chirac, Southside, C12, 911, grrr to the Riasi, we still outside. Mine on the riches, hard in the trenches. You can't throw dirt on the underground, we thrive in it. Ghana boys stocks on the rise, Charlie, this flex know they ready. See, we were not to ride nobody wave, we the ones who started with it. Translation, Yanni had to buy, Yanni had Yanni hits. This goes so hard, even the ops go with it, That's how you know we lit. Grrr,
trust, me taking no loss. We be the hottest on the scene. Dance stones from the dust. Big dog with your leash. Where's the love in the streets? Pour my heart on the beat. See that blood on my sheets. Yeah, when we ready, me hit it heavy. I zoom out the pride of my people already. Them I see Ellie. Me, I'm just sharing my journey. I'm thankful that people they hear me. Grab up Joseph, I'm ahead of the bunch. P5.
Madden football is the home of Super Bowl 57, and this historic matchup is brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Minnesota Vikings and the Buffalo Bills. Coming up next.
The hype and the talk is over. We're set for the big one. Super Bowl 57. Away we go from Arizona. And we will not have a return, so the first drive of the Super Bowl will begin at the 25. Minnesota's offense and QB Kirk Cousins set to go here.
And despite his long and productive career as a starter, he had never made it out of the divisional round prior to this run. Now he has the Vikings on the precipice of achieving the franchise's first Super Bowl in its 5th attempt.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. Uses the stiff arm. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. That's a start they can live with. 15 yards on their first play from scrimmage. And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we can at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there.
And this is why more and more teams are getting their wide receivers involved in the running game. When you've got playmakers on the perimeter, you've got to get creative and find ways to get the ball in their hands. And here, this is a great job to get that initial contact and turn it into a big play.
And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46. And the next-gen stats shows us the tale of how much yardage he was able to pick up after the initial contact.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Play fake. Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 27 yards there, a first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. A gain of 3, second down. Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
That is caught by Thielen. Touchdown, Vikings. Cousins able to connect with Adam Thielen. And the Vikings are on the board first here in this Super Bowl. And on the grandest of stages, with the whole world watching the Super Bowl, they come out and get the first points.
I don't know how you you feel about Brandon, but for me, watching the beginning of the Super Bowl, I've often wondered how come it's not just a fumble fest? How come the ball's not all over the place? The nerves, the interim in between of the 2 weeks waiting for the game. But this team came out and handled it just like it was a regular season walk in the park. Terrific start.
So what do you make of that? You go on the road, you score the opening drive touchdown, opt to go for 2, and all of a sudden they're up 8-0.
Yeah, this wasn't a decision they made right here and right now. They made this decision during the week. Hey, if we get the ball and score right away, let's show them that we feel like we're superior. Go for 2 and really put the pressure on them.
And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. For the Buffalo offense coming out, and it is Josh Allen who is at the helm.
Truly the face of this Buffalo franchise and totally immersed with the Buffalo community. Josh Allen understands what the Buffalo Bills fans are looking for. That elusive first Super Bowl trophy. And he has the opportunity to bring it home through his talents.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. That is complete downfield to Knox. The 20, 10, and all the way home for a Bills touchdown. Dawson Knox, 69 yards. And the Bills are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it, took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
And now Sean McDermott's made the call. They'll go for 2. Allen will try to throw for it. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. I know it's still just the first half, but we'll see if that 2 points looms large later.
I would have kicked it. And I know that they were trying to equal the score, but sometimes you kind of get seduced into that. It's the first half. Kick the extra point and continue to play so you don't have to chase points later.
Keneduagu now out of his end zone. Now a hit and a loose football. Now this is picked up by the Bills. So how about this for a turn of events? They cut the lead with a touchdown, and then on the ensuing kickoff, get the football right back.
And what a swing in a short amount of time because the momentum was totally against them. Now it's all in their favor. They've got a chance to go into the lead if they get the ball to the end zone.
Eric Kendricks in on the tackle.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Right back to Singletary on 2nd down. He will push his way down to about the 14. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for first. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
3rd down, here's a run by Cook. And he won't get to the marker. He's a yard short. A pickup of 3 and leaves him with 4th and 1.
When a good play is made on defense, oftentimes leverage is the key to everything. Defensive line not getting turned, all the other guys making sure they're in the right spot, and on that play, they were able to stop him short of a first down.
So they're going for it, and here's Allen. He will find Diggs in the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. Stephon Diggs, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Bills' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Extra point by Bass, up and good. And the lead is up to 5. to the touchdown. Bass to kick it away. Nwangu now from his end zone. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. They trail early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And it's a fumble. Now this is picked up by the Bills. Shoves him aside. This defense, Charles, very opportunistic here early. A second fumble recovery in this first quarter of play.
Yeah, you mentioned the right word, opportunistic and aggressive, because once they got the first fumble recovery, they were eager to get a second one, and sometimes they just come in bunches. On the flip side, they've got to figure out how to hold the ball because the play calls seem to be okay. They're just not executing.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
But these are the situations that really test the defense. Those sudden changes. They're already inside field goal range to start the possession. Their goal now, keep it to a long kick, if indeed they end up trying one.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Allen going to keep it again. Oh, he bowls over. Uses the stiff arm. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. The keeper there turning into a big play of 23 yards, and it moves the sticks. Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. And the Vikings are going to take possession here at their own 6-yard line. A turnover is obviously, Charles, always costly, but man, when you throw those interceptions in the end zone like that, it really stings.
He tried to fit that one into his tight end, and I often use the expression NFL open, which means a tighter window. Down near the goal line, you really want him to be open. In this case, it cost him.
Following the interception, Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
Well, after the standard 2-week layoff, you always wonder how is your offense going to respond and come out and play here in the Super Bowl. Well, they got a great answer right there and almost a sigh of relief on that side of the field because now they've got to feel like they can use their entire playbook and game plan for this one.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, they gave up a few yards there, but all in all, I think it's a pretty nice job defensively against the Jets sweep. If they don't slow him up, he might take it to the house, so they'll take that play every time on the defensive side of the ball.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. Now this is picked up by the Bills. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. They'll run on first down with Singletary. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 15 more yards there and quickly another first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
Allen now on first down. And this is intercepted. He was trying to get it to Davis. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And the Vikings are going to get possession of the football as time will run out on this first quarter of play. One quarter done, 3 more to play here in Super Bowl 57. Well, welcome back to the date on the calendar we circle every year. Super Bowl Sunday. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis here with you as we get set to begin quarter 2. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. A little jet sweep to start the drive. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
Play action now. Cousins. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Textbook coverage right there. Played the ball, never lost sight of where it was headed, and stayed in perfect position to make a play on it. Able to keep the receiver and the quarterback in his sight lines.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. On play action, Cousins. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Now this is picked up by the Bills. The big fella. And this is going to be brought back for a Bills touchdown. And what we just saw, very, very rare. We only had 5 of those in the first 50 Super Bowls.
The biggest stage, the biggest game, and we just saw it happen again. Extraordinary.
The defense has been good, and they were good again there. And now the Bills will bring the offense out onto the field and go for 2 here. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for 2. Here's Allen following the fumble recovery. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. So a big play there. Not only the fumble return for the touchdown, then they get the 2-point try. And you know, for the defense, though, they were just over there sitting on the field. They had to rush out to try to defend that.
You know, it's funny. They actually practice situations that they call sudden change when the team turns it over. I'll guarantee you no one practices a fumble return for a touchdown like that, and now someone goes for 2. Really good strategy by them putting them in that situation.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Nwangu now from his end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, you know, when we're having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
It'd be hard to say that the defense wouldn't be ready for a first down run. When you gain that kind of yardage against a defense that's really kind of geared to stop that play, your confidence has to rise, and now you've actually opened up your playbook. If you want to throw the ball now for play action, you're good to go.
That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And they work this well upfield across the 45. His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a first down.
That's a nice catch there. Remember, he had the fumble earlier. No way he was giving up the ball in that situation. Secured it tight to his body and picks up the first down.
They go play action. Cousins. Open man. Once again, it's Thielen. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. So in the second quarter, he's home. Yards receiving now.
The magic number for a really good game for a receiver. So you got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 38. On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson. And he lost the football. Now this is picked up by the Bills. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. Well, this jet sweep is so popular now in football, but Charles, here's the downside, a turnover.
Yeah, because you want so badly to get the ball in the hands of your receivers, let him try and create something. I think that when he took the handoff, he was thinking something big. Instead, he didn't feel the pressure, and the ball came free.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 37. He'll give it to Singletary here to start the drive. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Singletary again. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. 10 yards, good enough for a Buffalo first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, as the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Throwing on first down is Allen. Now, quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Throwing now is Allen. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
That's a nice job there, because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
Now Cook, he's got it off the draw. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. It's a gain of 5, but it'll lead to the 4th down. To the air, Allen. It's complete to Diggs. And he'll be brought down at the 27.
I remember pregame when we were talking to him on the field, and he took his gloves off and showed us his fingers. A few misshapen ones in there, and now we know why, trying to catch those types of bullets.
That was a dart. Yeah, even for a talented receiver, those are tough to hang on to. So the drive stays alive after the fourth down conversion. 1st and 10 inside the 30. Allen going to give this one to Singletary. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. 58 yards rushing for him now in the first half of this Super Bowl.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Allen going to try and keep it. Stops short. Down at the 1. Had the broken tackle, but couldn't get it all the way home. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down. So he is able to turn that into positive yardage, but I think it's fair to say that those are not the shots you're wanting your quarterback to have to absorb.
And he has to know sometimes when to say when. You have to know when to give.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Buffalo. Devin Singletary taking it in from a yard out. And the Bills continue to look good here in the first half of this Super Bowl.
Could not block that one any better. Everyone was accounted for, and a great surge by the offensive line.
And now Sean McDermott's made the call. They'll go for 2. They'll look to throw. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks.
Well, as most teams do in their two-point attempt, they pass the ball. Instead, it gets intercepted. And remember, if you pick it off, you get a chance to take it all the way back, get 2 points yourself, right?
Yeah, not the case there. That's why you got to be really careful with those throws, especially to the outside. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. And now out comes Minnesota. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. He'll find Thielen work in the middle. And they will get him down, but not before he gets very good yardage there, as that will lead us right into the 2-minute warning. A good pickup there, 26 yards. First and 10 at the 47-yard line. Off the play fake, Cousins. They're looking for Jefferson, but this is intercepted. And the Bills are going to take possession of the football. Well, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll bring this one inside the 35. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. On play action, Allen. Isaiah McKenzie hauling it in. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
Second and short, that's a rundown, so it's definitely a good time to go play action if you're feeling it. And they do so and pick up a first down.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. A give to Cook out of the gun. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. And the tackle for loss goes to Eric Kendricks.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense. A little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them. But they did do a nice job there forcing a loss on that play.
On 2nd and 12, Allen. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. It's Cameron Dantzler who picks it. The 40, the 30, past the 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, this defense, they've been terrific all year, and they come through with a pick six here on the game's biggest stage.
Perfect descriptor there because we have seen this time and time again. This defense, their ability to take the ball away from teams, they definitely have a nose for the football, and it pays off again on that play.
So the Vikings bringing the offense back onto the field. They'll go for two here. Cousins will try and throw. And now the pressure gets there, and he goes down. So he couldn't get rid of the football, and that deficit stays right where it is. Well, split the difference, and they're right where they would have been with two PATs. They got the two-point conversion the first time. They failed there.
Interesting, isn't it? Because the first time you go after your first score, that feels like a gamble. The second time when they tried it again, that felt like, what the heck, right? Because, as you said, even if you miss it, you split the difference, and you're right on schedule at 14 points.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. McKenzie now from his end zone. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. Look at this. Middle of the field. A breakaway. And they are not going to catch him. He's in. Touchdown, Buffalo.
Well, he made the right choice by result, but a little bit surprising because now with touchbacks coming back to the 25 instead of the 20, when guys fielded that deep in the end zone, I think most coaches want them to take a knee.
Yeah, it's resulted in more kneel downs. Not right there. And now once again, they'll line up to go for two. And they'll try and run it in with Singletary. And he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by two more. And they're able to ground it in there on the two-point try. And you know, we were talking before the game. The two-point conversions from the 15-16 season, what has changed, what hasn't changed, partner?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's changed is just your normal strategy because now you're either kicking the football with the ball on the 15-yard line, or if you decide to go for two, they put it on the 2-yard line. So what are you thinking as a coach? Do I risk it? Do I go for it here? Do I try and gain a strategic advantage and maybe go for two early? That's what people are wondering about.
So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. Nwangu now from his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. And the Vikings going to take over here one more time before the half. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
Final 24 seconds of the first half as they come up here 1st and 10. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. And Oliver had time to want to get in there and bring him down. And Just not much a quarterback can do there, CD. The pressure was in his face almost instantaneously, led to a very quick sack.
And this came from the interior of the defensive line, and these guys, they're normally anchors of that spot, and they don't often get clear shots at the quarterback. But in this case, he got past the center of the guard in no time and got there to make the play.
And the next-gen stat's going to show just how much time he had to make a decision, and it's not much. 3 seconds, the final clocking. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl. McKenzie now from his end zone. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Out come the Bills now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. And I would imagine this is where you have to take stock of the situation, CD, and say, gosh, we're halfway to the Lombardi Trophy. Let's not slow down now.
And I like the way you went there. Let's not slow down now, because the first half certainly went their way. And I would expect them to continue with that type of a game plan. But you're right. You do think back to Super Bowl 54. 49ers had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter, couldn't hold on, so plenty can still happen.
The third quarter starts with a run by Singletary. And a really good show of force there as he gets through for 4 tough yards.
Brandon, we just saw the benefits of being able to run the ball successfully. They pick up 4 yards on that carry. So now, if you're a play caller, you can do just about anything you want, but on the defensive side of the ball, you scramble a little bit. Now you're behind, trying to figure out, do I need to blitz him? Do I need to pressure him? How do I gain an advantage on this snap?
Right back to Singletary on second down. And he's got some space here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 74 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
They go right back to Singletary. And some room to win it. There he goes, right side. And all the way home for a Bills touchdown.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
And now Sean McDermott's made the call. They'll go for 2. And they'll try and run it in with Singletary. And he is into the end zone again. So get him some oxygen. He scores on the long run and then punches in the 2-point conversion for good measure. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, That's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Cousins. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Now this is and this is going to be brought back for a Bills touchdown. And what we just saw, very, very rare. We only had 5 of those in the first 50 Super Bowls.
The biggest stage, the biggest game, and we just saw it happen again. Extraordinary.
The defense has been good, and they were good again there. And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. Following the fumble recovery, Allen, and he's got it. They add on more. A little salt in the wound. 2-point conversion makes this lead even bigger.
Personally, I'd rather see him kick the extra point there than to go for 2, but it almost feels like there's a story within the story here. I mean, this isn't college. You know, size of victory, that matters in those games. Here, all you have to do is win by 1 point. That's all that you need. Instead, they go for it, get 2. You got some pretty ticked off folks on the other sideline now.
Here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized. How about that, partner? His 2nd sack of the game, and that puts him in some pretty good company. 17 guys have had 2 sacks in the previous 52 Super Bowls, but only 3 have had the record number of 3 sacks in this game.
And we've got the list here. If he gets another one and everyone behaves nicely, we might. That's going to be intercepted. And the Bills are going to take possession of the football. And that was one that I kind of saw coming, Charles. A free safety just hanging back there over the middle, waiting, and he saw that ball go in the air, and he jumped on it.
And I don't know why the quarterback didn't see that. That was just your standard cover 3, which means a free safety in the middle of the field, the 2 corners, and they divide the field in thirds. But when you have a free safety with range, like a good center fielder, he can go from side to side and make plays on the football as he did there.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. 11 yards and a Buffalo first down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
A give up the middle to Singletary.
Offside. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
following the penalty. It's 1st and 5, and you got to think offensively, all kinds of options. To throw, it's Allen. A quick throw going to be caught by Diggs. Touchdown, Bills! Stephon Diggs, his 2nd touchdown of the Super Bowl. And the Bills are starting to open things up here in the Super Bowl. A familiar refrain, a turnover leads to a touchdown, and that lead grows even wider now here in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, partner, I'd say there are a lot of grins breaking out on that sideline because, let's face it, they came in thinking they were in for a real fight in this game, but this one's been about as one-sided as we've seen in a while. In addition, if you're a backup, time to start stretching and loosening up. You may get some playing time in this one.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Nuwanger now from his end zone. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. He's at the 40, 20, 10. He will score. Touchdown, Minnesota. It's been a back-and-forth game, a lot of points on the board, and that return right there kind of indicative of how this thing's gone.
Yeah, you've seen both teams go at it, and as you just pointed out, both of them have found the end zone. But just like in boxing, you know the blow that hurts the most? The one you didn't see coming, and that often is the case when it comes in special teams.
Now Cousins going to bring his guys up for the 2-point try. They're going to keep it on the ground. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. You know, we've discussed this before. We've seen it in practices, extra periods being put in for the offense on these 2-point tries. But the defense, they're beefing up their support as well in practice.
They absolutely have to. If people are going to go for 2 and try and gain those advantages and make it tougher on your team as the game goes along, you have to be in a position to stop those. You can't let them get the advantage. So, yes, the defensive teams, they're putting in that extra time on 2-point plays as well.
Here's Stephon Diggs as he and the rest of the offense get ready to go again. He's been his typical solid and reliable self, hasn't he, Charles?
When you have that go-to receiver that you can count on in the situation where you absolutely have to have him, there's nothing better for anybody who's throwing the football. But the best part is the payoff. 2 touchdowns already. That's the bottom line when you throw the ball to a guy.
Absolutely. Not over 100 yards right now, but he does have 2 touchdown catches. 142 yards rushing for him now as his big night continues.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Singletary, they'll go up the middle. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. They'll try and run the option left side. Allen hit. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. There are 2 words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S. Ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs. They talk about it all the time. But still, when you got defenders out there who are preaching, hey, we're going to take the ball away from you, no matter what position you play, you've got to take care of the rock.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
That incompletion certainly slows things down a little bit and brings up a very important call for 2nd and long. What do? Run and try and get some yardage and make it 3rd and manageable? Or challenge the coverage again, hoping for a bigger gain?
And he's brought down, but not before a really nice stiff arm to create a little space. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Play fake. Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
There's a nice pickup right there. And after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
Cousins. This ball complete to Thielen going across the middle. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. That'll put him right on the doorstep of a 200-yard game. He's at 199 as he picks up the first. Now Cousins. And it's caught in the end zone for the Viking touchdown by Justin Jefferson. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Vikings are able to eat in just a bit to this sizable deficit. That's why you've got your star out there. Throw the ball to him. They did.
That's simply saying we don't care what coverage you put out there. He's so good. We're going there with the football anyway, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
Inside the red zone, they go to him. He gets it done. Kevin O'Connell choosing to lead his guys out there, and they'll go for 2. They're going to try and run. And he will get into the end zone to shave 2 more points off the deficit. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. McKenzie now from his end zone. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. The 40, Isaiah McKenzie. And he'll bring it back all the way. Touchdown, Buffalo.
Again, open partner, I get fired up. 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns in the same game. This is fun to watch.
Yeah, we call a lot of games at a lot of different places. Sometimes it seems like we do it simultaneously, but we rarely get to see this. There we go now as they will again try for 2. And they'll try and run it in with Singletary. And they are just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there. And sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Give them 18 there and give the Vikings a first down. Just 1 more quarter remains in the season-long race. Folks, welcome back to the biggest stage in sports, the Super Bowl, and now we get down to the good stuff, the 4th and final quarter. On 1st and 10, Cousins. And he's got this to Jefferson. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. It's another first down, and that'll be a gain of 21 yards. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last two plays. An excellent run there coming from out wide.
And we used to consider these jet sweeps to be gadget plays or something a little bit unusual, right? But now most teams have some version of this play in their playbook. And I think it's a lot because of the receivers that are being developed nowadays. These guys look like running backs even though they're playing out on the perimeter.
Yeah, he's got it. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Now, fourth quarter, certainly not enough time for a comeback, but nice to see them making use of the time remaining to try and make this one a little more respectable.
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal, good execution, be crisp, be sharp, and find a way to put some points on the board to make this thing look just a little bit better.
To throw, Cousins. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sacked back at the 9-yard line. And Oliver in there to get him yet again. That is his third sack tonight. They can't figure him out.
And that's his third sack, and that ties a Super Bowl record. Makes me think of my old college teammate, Reggie White. He had 3 with the Green Bay Packers in Super Bowl 31. Darnell Dockett of Arizona, Super Bowl 43. And Coney Ealy. 3 sacks for the Panthers against Denver in Super Bowl 50.
All those sacks, they've only been an official record since Super Bowl 17. I know it's believed that L.C. Greenwood unofficially had 4 way back in Super Bowl 10.
We're in the golden high tops as well.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Third and goal, trying to make that scoreboard at least a little more respectable. Cousins. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions of what was once a nice drive. Stalled out here. I'm going to give credit to the secondary partner. Never gave up as they gave up a few yards, and they came through on that play to deny that pass and force the 4th down.
Desperation time. Cousins on 4th down. And Thielen's got it. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the Super Bowl. And the Vikings get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. So still throwing here in the 4th quarter with a pretty sizable lead, and now that lead even more sizable. And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up, and he did just that.
Brandon, convention tells us it's time for them to get off the gas a little bit, right? But you and I both know the receivers don't want them to because, as you noted, this is their chance to pile on the stats. If they got their way, they try to get every single spot in the depth chart points before this game is over.
And he will get into the end zone to cut the lead a little bit further. Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. McKenzie now from his end zone. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Back now on offense, the Buffalo Bills. And they are trying to play it cool down on the sidelines, but they know that they are very close now to wrapping this thing up and letting the celebration begin. A Super Bowl title within reach now as they try to polish this thing off. On first down, they'll start out with Singletary. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 164 yards on the ground for him now as he's gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
Brandon, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about running them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He had to run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
And some room to run now. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Devin Singletary with his third touchdown of the Super Bowl. And the Bills are starting to pour it on at the game's biggest stage. They are running away with this Super Bowl. So what was already a game to remember becomes even more so as that touchdown run, a lengthy one, takes him over 200 yards now for the game.
And I love the fact that to get over 200, it took a pretty good sprint, didn't it? I mean, a lot of times you get 1 or 2 yards and, oh, he's over 200 yards. But that really put an exclamation point on the game he's having. Fantastic. A lot of fun to watch.
Extra point by Bass, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. From the 10. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. Those Super Bowl hopes that they had really dwindling now here in the fourth quarter. That NFC crown that they got 2 weeks ago seems like a distant memory as they have been outplayed tonight. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. That is caught by Thielen. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. Well, I mean, look, obviously there's no 20 or 30-point play in that playbook, but they can try to end things here on a positive note despite trailing big, and that looks like what they're trying to do here by pushing the ball downfield.
Well, let me go with the heavy cliche then, partner. Just control what you can control right now, and all they can control here is how their final plays develop.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. They go right back to him for 20 and a first. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Play action now. Cousins. Middle of the field to Jefferson. Touchdown! Justin Jefferson, his second touchdown of the Super Bowl. And the Vikings are able to claw one back. And CD, they just haven't had a whole lot to cheer about here, but it may be cliche, but give them credit for this. They've continued to fight and scratch and claw, and they get the touchdown here in the fourth quarter.
And I'm okay with that cliche. Maybe it'll alleviate the sting a little bit, because at least they can look in the mirror and realize they fought all the way through. Horrible.
And now the pressure gets there, and he goes down. So he couldn't get rid of the football, and that deficit stays right where it is. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. McKenzie now from his end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Now the Bills offense gets ready to head back onto the field. Well, we've reached the stage where it's a mere formality at this point. They've got the comfortable lead. We know what the outcome is going to be. I guess the only question is, do they want to put more points on the board before the final gun?
Well, I certainly hope not. And I'm being selfish here because you and I have flights to catch. Let's go ahead and finish this one off, guys. You've taken care of business. Let's close it out. And you and I, let's get to the airport.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Right back to Singletary on 2nd down. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 14 yards, and the Bills will get a new set of downs. He continues to be a major factor carrying the football here into the fourth quarter, Charles.
Another big gain on the ground. Big guys working strong up front. A lot of them not just taking care of business at the line of scrimmage, but getting into the linebacker spots and taking care of the second level as well.
And they're taking advantage of everything right now on the scoreboard with that lead. On the give, this is Singletary. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
Fourth quarter with a lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule is trying to get 4 downs on first down. They did that plus 3.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. From the 44, Allen. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And the Vikings are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. That throw, Charles, over the middle of the field, and a few too many bodies in there got picked.
That's a normal situation, too, isn't it? No matter how hard you try and spread the field sometimes, there's always going to be a traffic jam, it feels like, towards the middle. And if there's any type of a missed throw, or maybe the ball's tipped, or just too many bodies in the area, an interception can result.
A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
This has been a rough one to put it mildly for him, and after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hopefully they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a first down.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson. A solid stiff arm. And he will finally be tracked down at the Bills' 33. A big 30-yard play on third. Well, for a play that didn't look like much at the snap, that jet sweep turned into a big play in a hurry.
And how about how they rammed the play? Because they obviously caught the defense out of position and not expecting that one, and that turned into a nice chunk of yardage.
And the Bills are going to get him as he goes down. Ed Oliver make that now 4 sacks for him in tonight's ball game.
Pardon my vocabulary isn't that great, but to me, there's only one word that fits this front seven today, and that's dominant. 4 and 5 sacks is already rare in one game. Getting to more than 6 in one contest while winning by this many points, an absolutely astounding effort by every player involved.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
Well, as a wideout, when you take that handoff and you're coming around the edge, you're expecting to see nothing but empty space in front of you. But if not...
Well, things can go south in a hurry, and that's exactly what we saw on that play with a loss. Need something for deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson.
And able to use the stiff arm to gain leverage initially, but not much room thereafter. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
One last shot now for Cousins. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Tre'Davious White with a pick. And the Bills come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. And these Bills make the 90s seem like a distant memory. Buffalo is the Super Bowl champion. For the victors, getting to hoist that Lombardi trophy, you know, we've talked again.
Yeah. Turn me up. Yeah.